Hi, everybody. This is McLean Warren with Liaison Marketing. I'm here with a very good friend of mine, Emma Hilditch.
Hi, everyone.
One of the reasons, other than your massive experience with both photography, digital marketing, and just being an Amazon seller yourself, one of the reasons I wanted to interview you is because I feel like there's tons of videos between Amazon sellers and marketers, and while people are always interviewing gurus and PPC experts and all that, no one seems to really be focusing on the experts behind the camera, or the experts that are doing the Photoshop and the graphic design. And with Amazon becoming so image driven, I thought it would be really cool to actually bring you in and get a perspective from a graphic artist standpoint, because I think it's really important, and I think it's underestimated and underutilized. So why don't we first start off by you kind of introducing yourself and maybe giving a little bit of background of where you came from and what your knowledge is.
Sure, yeah. My background is graphic design. It's what I did as soon as I left school. It's been my life. And over the years, I've, sort of played with various different aspects of that role. And more recently, since 2017, I learnt to sell products on Amazon and got into product development. So that led me through my graphic design background. I branded my products, and then I created my own listing images. And really it sort of just started from, helping a friend out that was also a seller and helping another friend out. And then over time, as I modified my listing, I started to think a little more deeply about how these Amazon listings are looking and working, and through exposure, I guess, to different friends' listings and actually working on a number of different products, I came to notice the patterns that sellers fall into, and some really obvious ways to break out of those patterns and to stand out. Being an Amazon seller myself, I've been suspended. I've been through, hell and back, as we all have. So I understand.
You along the way.
Correct. So I really do understand the sensitivities of creating Amazon listings and how careful you have to be with the wording, and it's getting harder and harder. So within the restrictions of selling on Amazon and the terms of service and creating the listings in the way I like to, I feel like I've come up with an approach that's unique to me. It seems to be working, and it seems, it's applicable to any product. And the basic philosophy of it is that I feel as though the trap most sellers fall into is that they go to their niche. So if you're, one of the first sellers in there, everybody just sort of looks at the listings that are there and then replicates that with minor tweaks. And as the niche grows, you just get more and more of the same, and it's extraordinary. Like, I think people
just to clarify, I just want to like focus on that because it's really important. What you just said is in terms of, if say you're selling like a lamp, right, and you see other sellers doing it, you think that the natural intuitive response is to see, oh, this one lamp is selling really well, I'm going to copy exactly what they're doing, because that must be one of the reasons they're succeeding so well.
Yeah, correct. And so if somebody sees that the way this lamp has been presented is that image one, the hero image, and then you have the dimensions laid out, and then you have, the different technical specs of the way it throws light. There's a certain pattern to the way people present the images and the technical information that they convey. If you take, for example, infuser bottles, like they'll all say, the different uses, and then they show how the infusers work, and then it's all replicated information. And if you go to organizers, it'll show, like, the majority of the listings will show a split down the middle before and after shot of my messy house, my tidy house. And it's like, you're already there because you have a messy house. And you're getting this because you want a tidy house, and it's just it's wasted space, a lot of the stuff that's being conveyed. My belief is that I feel that those first listing images, more than ever now, need to make the buyer think, I want that product.
Right.
And that really is the job of those main images. It's a huge advantage if you're brand registered, because then you've got all of the EBC where you can really go into that information that a committed buyer wants to read. So particularly with the A+ content listings, I think that as few words as possible, the best images you can get, really focus on the benefits. Like if you have an organizer, the benefit of the organizer is the life that you gain from being organized, you know? So it's
a like elaborate on that a little bit more?
I'm just trying to, without going to the products that I don't want to talk about. But I'm just trying to find another example. Example.
I understand. But you're essentially, like, from what I'm understanding is that whatever product, I mean, what we call Amazon is a end of the funnel platform, which means that when you're there, you're already looking for something in particular. And when you're looking for something in particular, you already know the basic benefits that you want from that, right? So in a lot of ways, it's a lot of wasted space when people reiterate stuff that the buyer already knows. Like you said, for an organizer, oh, it makes your house clean or makes your car clean or whatever. Or for a tea infuser, oh, it infuses tea. Well, you're thinking, well, yeah, duh. Like, that's why I'm here.
Yeah.
So why don't we utilize this space to actually explain benefits that are beyond the competitors that are already explaining?
That's right. And I think particularly, you know, you should be coming to Amazon, you know, these days with differentiated products. So it's really all about showing your point of difference. So for example, if you have a product that everybody's product is just one component, but it's got lots of functions, but your product that you've developed, your point of differentiation is that you've got, say, 3 detachable parts that you can take off that product and take it into another, you know, part of your life. You know, focus on what you're doing with those products in the other part of your life, rather than the technical specs of, you know, here's the thing and these are the 3. If you see what I mean, it's about taking the product and showing the user benefiting from it and really highlighting your point of difference. And I think that, you know, when we focus on unique benefits and just take a completely fresh approach to your listing in comparison with the others, there are always going to be certain bits of information that are essential, like you need to know volume if it's a water bottle, what volume is it, all that sort of stuff. But you know, keep that stuff at the brief end and really just focus on beautiful imagery, desirability, aspirational, and selling the lifestyle that your product is offering.
So just to wrap this up a little bit, what would you say the 3, I mean, you kind of touched on this, but what would you say the 3 biggest mistakes people make are? Or can you even summarize it as?
I can. The biggest mistake is not thinking about your product with a fresh head, but comparing yourself to your competitors. Really just analyze your product, work out what it is about this that you want to know, and just take a fresh approach. The second mistake people make are just cramming too much information in. And the third mistake people make is not showing enough of the lifestyle benefits.
I'm going to even go a step further and say, with the cramming information in, that the Amazon's most recent A10 algorithm won't even allow you to. Like, they can now scan images and actually, like, know that it's kind of like stuffing your titles or your bullets. Like, they want clean, they want uniform, they want concise, they want a good customer experience, right? And so if you're photos, as much as you want to overstuff it and have tons of content, like, in a lot of ways that actually deters a customer.
Absolutely. It's really off-putting. People don't want to work hard. They don't want to have to you know, read and digest and analyze. My final advice on this would be go and have a look at some brands, you know, just outside the Amazon space. And there's stuff that you look at and you go, oh shit, I really want that, you know. Even if you can't afford it, you want it, and you might just stretch that little bit to have it. You've got to, that's what you've got to create. And I think that's the new sort of standard to meet on Amazon. And there's so much room for that, because there's just, people are overall, they're not doing that. So it's create that level of desirability and think bigger than Amazon. Don't copy other Amazon sellers. Copy the big brands, you know.
Right.
Aspire to be beyond Amazon.
It's so funny. You can hear my son screaming in the background. So if anyone's wondering if I have him in a cage somewhere, I promise he's safe. Just put him back there.
I think he's just agreeing with everything I'm saying.
This is just like when you work from home, it's just what happens. So anyway, I don't have some person in my dungeon that I tied up. It's just my son. So we'll wrap this up real quick. One thing I just want to touch base on was that statistically, it is on average, a customer is on your listing for 17 seconds, which means you have to convey what your product is, why it's beneficial, why it's better than your competitors, and why someone should buy it in 17 seconds.
And the only thing I'll add to that is make them use that 17 seconds, and at the end of it, they're just like, I really want that.
Exactly. And like you said, if you have the right photographer or the right graphic designer to do it, you don't have to use a lot of words, because you're telling a story through your photographs, and thus you don't need all that content and stuff. So so thank you, Emma, so much for joining us. This is Emma Hilditch. She, you can email her or email me at mw@liaison.marketing. We'll definitely get in touch with her. She does phenomenal work. She's done a lot of stuff with our customers, and I highly, highly recommend her. She's fantastic. So thank you so much for joining us, Emma. I really appreciate you taking your time out of your day doing all your entrepreneurial stuff, because I know she's like runs 5 businesses right now. So
no worries. Oh, great to talk to you.
You're right. Well, thank you. Have a good night.
See you. Bye.